HEB Park in South Texas, this is the USL. As tonight, we got some midweek action for you as Rio Grande Valley play host to Orange County. Fun one on a Wednesday night for you here on ESPN+. Rio Grande Valley, the hosts, come in off 3 consecutive road games. They dropped all those points. Orange County, meanwhile, have won 4 on the bounce, outscored opponents 12-0 in those 4 victories. But we begin first, Morgan Conklin. My name is Chris Whittingham with the hosts, Rio Grande Valley FC, coming in off a trio of defeats away from home. We get a look here at the way the games played out in Seattle and Portland. They're scoring goals, which is an improvement from a year ago, but conceding too many.
And that's something that we spoke with Jerson Echeverry about earlier this week, their head coach, is what were the positives? Because they were able to score, they were able to produce, but they weren't able to get a positive result. And he was saying he needs his team to be focused for 90 minutes. Maybe it's their youth. They have a lot of young guys. They have to stay focused for that 90 in order to get 3 points, and they can get it at home tonight.
They tried to bunker in against Portland, but in the end conceded 3 to Timbers 2. Matias Zaltivar suspended after picking up a second yellow card in the game against Portland. Meanwhile, let's get to our players to watch this evening. Let's start first with Orange County's Aiden Quinn.
Aiden Quinn, a player who just played that first ball, and then you see him move off the ball and continue his run. He's in a position as a defensive midfielder that really shields the back 4 defensively, but in the run of play, he's always there providing angles and helping his team out, build possession, and get forward. He does little things that you don't really notice unless you look for him. Right here, he wins the ball into midfield. It comes right to him, gets a touch, plays an entry ball, but then keeps his run going. But all he does is take a couple steps to where he needs to go so that he's an outlet for his team and is able to help them. They didn't play him, but just those little movements, watch for that tonight because it really helps set up the attack.
Second in USL in passes, Aiden Quinn with 449. As you now get to RGV and the player in the center of their midfield, Todd Wharton, is also their captain.
You could also make the argument that Wharton and Quinn are somewhat similar players, except you see Wharton all over the stat sheet for RGV. He is the engine of this team. Earlier was able to play out of possession, was composed with players around him, but then keeps his run going, is able to get up, and then continues this build-up for RGV. It all started because Wharton was composed under pressure and able to play out. But then on the other side of that, he's also someone they have on set pieces. He's able to knock in a corner here, which leads to an opportunity for RGV. So we always hear his name and talk about him a lot when it comes to RGV, but it's for a reason. He's the biggest part of this team.
Coming up next to bring you our starting lineups and first half kickoff. I'll tell you about a couple of players in the RGV side tonight that have come down from Houston Dynamo. That's more on that coming up next. It's Orange County SC, one of the hottest teams in USL, away in the Rio Grande Valley tonight on ESPN+. Live from HEB Park this evening, Chris Whittingham alongside Morgan Conklin for some USL Western Conference action as Rio Grande Valley play host to Orange County SC. And it is with Orange County that we'll begin our look at the starting lineups. Pretty typical look from Orange County, what we've seen from them of late. Noah Powder continued to deputize at left back, but Thomas Enevoldsen score of 4 goals this season leading the line.
RGV defense is going to have to be ready for him, but I'm really interested in how this back line does, especially Walker Hume, how he's matched up against someone similar in size for RGV.
As we take a look at the host, Rio Grande Valley FC Toros, a couple of changes in the form of Houston Dynamo players coming down to play with the RGV side. Max Steves up top, the number 19, and Memo Rodriguez, Jose Rodriguez is his given name, but he goes by Memo. He'll play on the left wing. I'm
interested in how Max Steves, he's 6'4", how he does matched up against Walker Hume. I always love seeing a big forward and a big center back and how they just battle together, but this whole game is going to be won in the midfield.
As you have a look at our matchday referee, Mark Allerton, and he gets us started. Rio Grande Valley FC Toros playing host to Orange County SC this evening. Rio Grande Valley yet to win in 2018. They went on the road for 3 consecutive games and lost all 3 of them to Portland Timbers 2, Seattle Sounders 2, and Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Meanwhile, Orange County SC, second in the Western Conference, have won their last 4 games by a combined score of 12-0. And when you look at the way that those games played out, Morgan, they did play twice against teams that had 2 men sent off. So there are some inflated numbers, but still, it is a very dynamic Orange County side.
And like you said, the numbers maybe show an inflated story if you want, but if you watch the film, Orange County has just dominated the games, even when it was 11 aside. They made their mark on the game early, but that's one thing I think that's been lost a little bit is they've scored all these goals, but they've been holding teams and shutting them out.
Best in the league, having conceded just twice, as they will be going from left to right. Orange County, the visitors, in their road whites. Rio Grande Valley in their home oranges from head to toe. As the throw-in is sent in. It's taken down here by Mats Berman, who will play on that left-hand side. The Irvine, California native, playing for his hometown club. One here in midfield by Christian Duke, but in a foul manner in the judgment of our matchday referee. That record does have Orange County second in the West. Rio Grande Valley, though, 16th, picking up just 2 points from their first available 15. There is, of course, an imbalance in games played, so RGV can make up some of the difference, particularly starting to pick up points at home, which they did in their first 2 games, but both draws against St. Louis and Sacramento. Let's get a look here on the ball is Kyle Adams, who will play at left back this evening. As we run through the starting lineups, Nico Corti will wear the number 0 in goal, the Belgian. Back 4 of Kyle Adams, Omar Ontiveros, Connor Donovan, and Manny Padilla. As the ball is sent forward by Padilla, cut out by Noah Powder. Midfield 3 of Todd Wharton, Pablo Aguilar, and Nicolas Perea. And a front 3 of Zach Wright, Max Steves, and Jose Memo Rodriguez. So it will be a throw-in here for Rio Grande Valley. Launched in the direction of Steves. There is the big number 19. He has appeared twice in league play for Houston Dynamo this season, a couple of substitute appearances, but getting the start this evening here on a Wednesday night as Pablo Aguilar was chasing there. It is interesting to see, Morgan, how this team will line up. It seemed like it made sense with Matias Aldivar playing in that kind of number 10 role, but because he is suspended after picking up a second yellow card against Portland Timbers 2, it does create a little bit of a change.
Well, and that's one thing that when we were talking with Jerson Echeverry earlier, I was asking about players because we've seen some rotation in the midfield and the back. We've just seen different players come in, different formations and stuff like that. And I was asking, are you looking for something different? Is it just a battle in training? Is it players being sent down from the Dynamo? And it's a mix of both right now, but you really see a couple players solidifying themselves in the lineup. You see a Connor Donovan, usually in a center back. Sometimes you have Omar Ontiveros, Kyle Adams kind of working for that other center back spot, but you always see Todd Wharton. You're seeing a lot of Zach Wright, especially lately, but for this RGV team to continue to be successful and to get on a run, they have to have more consistency, and there has to be more than just 2 players that you always see in the lineup.
Here is one of the regulars, Connor Donovan, has started each of the 5 matches that RGV have played in this season. Ball is cut out, though, in the center of the park by Oscar Sorto, as we can run through the Orange County team in full. Goalkeeper Andre Rawls, who is tied for the league lead in clean sheets with 4 in Orange County's 6 matches. Back 4 of a right back, Oscar Sorto, with next to him Alex Crognale, Walker Hume, and Noah Powder. A midfield 3 of Aiden Quinn in the hole, with Koji Hashimoto and Christian Duke in front of them, and a front 3 of Mark Segbers on the right, the loanee from New England Revolution, who's been off to a really solid start, 2 goals and 3 assists. Leading the line will be Thomas Ennevoltsen, although he will certainly drift out wide at times, and then Mats Berman playing on the left as the ball is sprayed out for Berman to play. Has the run of Powder available. The run at this defense. Here's Berman with a nice turn. Now Christian Duke and Thomas Ennevoltsen. He's been on fire lately. He'll try the left-footed shot. And Nico Corti saw the danger in it, but it flashes over the bar.
One thing that Orange County does very well is they usually start each game hot. They get after the other team, but they pick and choose their moments. There's way too much time here in the midfield for Bierman. He's able to just dribble forward, and then you see Ennevoltsen just drift into the middle. Nobody goes with him. He's wide open. He's the center forward and just drifts into the middle, has the ability to turn and get a really good shot on frame. Defensively for RGV, it's not good enough. I know it's early in the game, but those are the mistakes that if that goal happens early, this is a completely different game and you have to crawl out of that hole.
As the whistle goes for a throw-in for Orange County. Come in off a 3-0 victory away from home against San Antonio. Koji Hashimoto, as the ball is given away in the center of the park. Steves will leave it for Aguilar, but gets all the way to the Orange County goalkeeper. He's able to at least get it away from the oncoming press of Steves. Here's Nicolas Perea, the Colombian. His second season with Rio Grande Valley, with a few returners. Both teams making tons of changes in the offseason. More typical for a side like Rio Grande Valley, but Orange County bringing in 14 new players, some like Andre Rawls on loan from NYCFC, the goalkeeper, arriving just days before the opening game of the season. So Braden Cloutier, their manager, telling us it was going to take a minute, but they're on an accelerated track. They're playing some fantastic football at the moment. So it's cut out in the air by Walker Hume to the feet of Ennevoltsen. Berman. And Noah Powder, who has taken on that left back role despite being listed as an out-and-out midfielder. The starting left back at the beginning of the season, Kantor Usa Ansa, got hurt in the game against Sacramento, and so Noah Powder came in and he's taken that role and run with it. Played pretty decently. So now Alex Crognale is on the ball, the loanee from Columbus Crew. As it's given away there, Nico Perea winning it off him. Here's Memo Rodriguez. Overlapping run of Padilla. Will send lofted service in the air towards Wharton, who will try and hit it first time. And it was a decent opportunity, perfectly placed ball by Padilla. And Andre Rawls is able to get behind him.
Great movement from RGV. There's patience in the build-up. They take their time. They're able to spread the ball around, which then allows time for players to get forward. It allows Todd Wharton to squeeze in between the back 4. That's a tough ball to hit without taking a touch first, just trying to hit the volley. But I really like the patience in RGV. Sometimes it's easy, especially earlier in the game, to keep the pace quick. And when you find yourself with space, when you're not used to having it, sometimes you think you don't have the time that you do. So I'm very impressed by the way that they spread the field.
Well, one by Ontiveros, who slips in the run of Aguilar. Heavy challenge in from Walker Hume. And a free kick is given in a fairly dangerous area. Aguilar going down under the weight of a pretty heavy challenge there from the big center back, Walker Hume.
There's no doubt that this was a foul. Just the way that Hume goes in, doesn't even get the ball, completely gets Aguilar. But I love the movement from RGV right now. It's really promising because sometimes they've struggled in the build-up, and right now there's movement off the ball. They're playing the ball with a purpose. They're playing it to an area and trying to get into that zone, and I really like seeing that, especially early on from them.
Memo Rodriguez over this one. Got promoted to Houston Dynamo a year ago. Appeared in 9 games, but was quite a big figure for RGV in 2016. 6 goals and 7 assists. Takes the free kick, but Andre Rawls was covering that near post and made fairly easy work of that free kick.
That's one that Rodriguez is going to want back. He didn't hit it very well. Not a not a difficult save at all for Rawls, but I want to see the build-up continue to happen. For RGV, one thing they were wanting in terms of this game was to stretch out the field and to find the space. And they have the players right now that are looking to do that, and I want them to continue that throughout the game, not lose that as it goes on.
As it will be a corner here for Rio Grande Valley. Solid pressure applied by Max Steves. Second round pick in MLS Super Draft this past year, coming out of Providence. Able to force the free kick off of Cronulla. Todd Wharton will go over to take. Here is the captain. Scored 2 goals this season, both from the penalty spot, as he will whip it in. Lofted towards that back post. A decent header on it from Ontiveros, but again, catching practice for Rawls. RGV able to put Orange County under a bit of pressure. Orange County hasn't really been able to get into their game.
And usually Orange County is the team that is really getting after it in the first couple minutes. They press really high defensively, but RGV's been able to break that, and they've won the ball in the middle like they just did, so they don't have to deal with the front line of the Orange County press, just based on where they win the ball.
Just keeping play at the moment, all the way back to the goalkeeper, Corti. We'll send along. The flicked on header is on there by Adams. Aguilar will try and chase. It's a heavy back pass in the direction of Rawls. Putting the goalkeeper Rawls under a ton of pressure was Mark Segbers, and it's gone all the way out for a corner.
I don't know why Rawls tried to hit that first time. He looked surprised when it came to his left foot, but take a touch there. He had so much time in the world. Yes, it was a terrible back pass, but in no way did he need to hit that first time. He had so much time. There was no player even around him.
Bit of an inauspicious start for Braden Cloutier's men. Now Wharton is over to take the corner. Swung in towards that near post, and it vaults in the first to it. Cycled all the way back for Nico Perea, who will just loft it long into the area. Berman taking down and clearing. Both RGV and Orange County coming in with first-year managers. Braden Cloutier off to a solid start in his first go in charge of the team. Was an assistant for a couple of years before getting the full-time manager's position. So in MLS. Was telling me today on our call that he played briefly with the RGV manager, Gerson Echeverry, with the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars back in the late 90s in Major League Soccer. So a bit of a history between the two men. He said their careers overlapped for about 6 months.
You hear about a couple coaches that played together or played for one when he was a coach, and it's one of those things you realize the world is really small, especially the soccer world at this level. It's very, very small.
And it's also cool to start seeing some of the originals, the MLS originals that helped grow the league from its beginnings, start to make their way into coaching and spread throughout the American game. And they were real pioneers, and now taking their knowledge into the professional game to help grow it in this country. See growth in the way of fantastic stadiums like the one you're watching this game from today. H-E-B Park is a wonder in USL. Team in charge doing a brilliant job with this, as Powder will play for Mats Berman to go on. Does a decent job for Hashimoto. Now Segbers. Terrorize the defender Adams. Now double teamed. Well done by Adams, but Segbers can still play. Slides in to try and win it back. Taken off it by Todd Wharton. Now Memo Rodriguez, but cut out by Anna Voltson very well. Now he can push on, again with room to press on, but the ball was a bit too heavy for the run of Hashimoto. Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. as it's a dangerous ball played there. One off it by the central midfielder Christian Duke, but Hashimoto unable to take advantage.
Been talking with Coach Echeverry earlier this week. Decision making and just focus was a comment, and that is an example of it. It's a poor giveaway. RGV has been playing really strong. They had a good defensive play in the last build-up, and then they just give the ball away, but we're lucky to clear it. It's just simple decision making. And maybe you want to say that's the youth, maybe it's the experience, whatever you want to call it, it can't happen because those lapses lead to goals.
And Rio Grande Valley have conceded far too many to start this campaign, 11 in their opening 5 games. It's time for 13th worst in the Western Conference, as here's the overlapping one of Oscar Sorto. Played to Segbers, low into the air for Aaron Voltson, who will leave it for Aiden Quinn. Might he strike? He will. But into that area in behind the goal.
And we talk about Quinn in the run of play and his ability defensively to break things up, but he also has the ability to slip into pockets and the awareness of him to know that the early shot was not on. So he gets the fake, it earns him a couple more steps, more time. Unfortunately, his shot doesn't come off, but that's just the experience, and he's such a veteran. He's not one of the oldest players, but he just has so much experience, and he's so wise out on the field in his decision making. It comes through in his decision making.
Cloutier telling me that he was among the first players that he targeted when he took over as manager of this squad. Him and Christian Duke, who are 2/3 of that central midfield. He was kind of explaining the way that player acquisition goes in this league and how it kind of comes in 4 different waves. You have USL players that are kind of coming towards the end of their seasons. Then you get into the internationals, you get into the draft, the college soccer players that are done with the collegiate game, and then players who are trying to get onto MLS rosters who don't quite. And you have to be prepared for all these different stages of roster building, and it seems like so far Orange County has done the job pretty well.
Well, and looking at his team also, he knew the type of guys that he wanted to bring in. He called them the blue-collar guys, someone like Quinn and Duke, which is why they were the first people that he looked at. But they wanted to bring in those guys that would train every day, bring the effort, and you see it in the way that they play. They have the rhythm in their midfield. It's demanding just in terms of the constant movement and constant help that you have to give your teammates, and they wanted the players that would be willing to do that work.
Kyle Adams, as now you'll start to see the press from Orange County, was noting watching the game against San Antonio how orchestrated it is. Everyone communicating with each other of where we're going to go, how far we're going to go, and see here if Rio Grande Valley can play out of this.
It's so organized, but one of the reasons why RGV was having success earlier in the game is because they were winning the ball in the midfield, so they didn't deal with the top of the press, which, of course, that's less people to beat. But Orange County isn't as organized because they don't have the structure all together. So if RGV can win the ball in the middle, it puts them in a better position.
Rodriguez trying to play it in towards Aguilar, but Walker Hume leaving it for the goalkeeper Rolls. Orange County will definitely look to play. Ball is sent forward towards Duke. Able to keep it in play, but straight to an orange shirt. Taveras, but well read there by Aiden Quinn. 5th meeting between these two teams, met twice over the last 2 years. They met twice in 4 days a year ago in the heart of the season. It's a 1-1 draw in Rio Grande Valley last year, and then a 4-0 victory for Orange County back in California. As on his way was Todd Wharton, but it will be a free kick there given against Mark Segbers. His challenge was a bit too much on the Rio Grande Valley captain.
I don't blame Segbers for having a couple words with the ref there. I think Wharton definitely brought that call on and maybe dove a little bit for it, but that's one of the things that makes Todd Wharton so good. He's so smart. He's not the fastest player, and he knows that he has Segbers coming on him, so he puts his body in a position where it's going to earn them the foul. He's either going to get a shot off, be able to play a ball, or he's going to be taken down and give his team a free kick.
So it will be a free kick this time Aguilar over it after Memo Rodriguez took the first one. Matt Steves is also available. .6'4", the big number 19 for Rio Grande Valley. Scored 35 collegiate goals and will strike this free kick. Andre Rawls comfortable knowing he was going over the bar. Orange County unbeaten away from home to start this 2016 campaign. Won 5-0 in Tulsa, won 1-0 in Oklahoma City, 3-0 in San Antonio. So not just winning, but keeping clean sheets away from home. 9 goals to 0 conceded. What's been a pretty remarkable start to the campaign. Which has them second in the table at the moment. Only Matt Pickens has 4 clean sheets of Nashville, along with Andre Rawls' 4. As the free kick is taken short, and Quinn will send it long. Taken down well by Hashimoto. See a lot of positional interchange from this Orange County side as it's cut out there and sent in the direction of Memo Rodriguez, who plays it over the head of Cronali. Lovely bit of skill there, and to maintain possession, but cut out again by Quinn. That's exactly the kind of reading in the game you highlighted in our open.
Well, Memo Rodriguez did a great job beating the first 2 defenders, but then he forced that pass. And by the time he went to play it, Quinton's just sitting there waiting. But it's the way that Aiden Quinn's able to read the game.
Sorto taken first time there by Enna Voltson, trying to leave it for Segbers, but again, a bit too much on it. Duke heads it in the direction of Powder. Played into the channel there for Christian Duke, and he tries to win it off of Todd Wharton, as it's actually a free kick given there against Wharton. So Orange County will have a set piece here in a fairly dangerous area.
I'm a little confused as to why that was called. I just saw 2 players both going for the ball.
I thought that was more on Duke than it was on Wharton.
It looked like a complete 50-50 ball. Yes, there was some sliding involved, but they were both going for it, so I'm not, from our angle, I couldn't completely see that. But this gives Orange County a really good opportunity in a dangerous spot.
The right of Hashimoto and the left of Aiden Quinn over this free kick, as Quinn will leave it for Hashimoto to swing it in. It's a dangerous header. Corti had misjudged that, and Cronali heads it wide.
And a really good chance for Orange County comes from nothing. That foul gives them an opportunity, the ball right at the edge of the box. It's a great ball sent in. You have a couple Orange County attackers there. One's able to connect with the ball. If that was a different foul, I would say it comes down to decision making and you have to be careful around your box, but not completely agreeing with the call. That's unfortunate, and RGV just has to establish their game again, establish their presence like they did in the way that they had control that first couple of minutes.
Corti sending it long. Cronali winning in the air. And then Voltson. And Hashimoto is going to play it for Segbers to chase, but just a bit too much pace on the ball tonight from these through balls from Orange County. USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow at USL on Twitter. Simple enough, 3 letters, USL. As will be a throw in here for Orange County. Certainly Orange County has the resources to change the game from their bench. The 13 that they have scored this season, 6 have come from substitutes, including a brace from Mark Segbers, who starts tonight on that right-hand side, as the ball is played into the channel there by Steves. Let cut out. But I believe he was judged to have been offside.
The last couple minutes have just been choppy from both sides. There really hasn't been a flow in this game since the early minutes, which normally it's flip-flop. Normally it's the first couple of minutes where it's a little bit more hectic, but I think both teams just need to settle in and play. You see Aiden Quinn really trying to pull the strings. That's what he does so well. We saw this exact play from him against San Antonio. He's able to pick the ball off an outside back and just turn and ping it down far to Segbers. But for RGV now, they have possession. Keep it. They need to build. They need to find their midfield and create. It's just, there's no rhythm, and I want both teams to find it.
As Corti will head over. Play this one is a national championship winning goalkeeper with Stanford. Started 23 times for the Cardinal in 2017. Conceded just 9 goals during his senior season. He's already conceded more than that in 4 starts with the Rio Grande Valley. This ball is whipped long there by Berman for Segbers to chase. He stayed on side, can now run at Kyle Adams. Pick out the right ball. The right ball is to leave it with Oscar Sorto. Challenge comes in as the cross is sent in. Cut up by Ontiveros. Powder. And calm and composed there from Quinn to leave it for Crognali. Quinn joining from FC Cincinnati. Braden Cloutier saying that he might have been a victim of their manager change. He's brought in by John Harkes, and it's just a bit different from what the new manager wanted to do, but Cloutier picked him out with building a system around him in mind, as the ball there from Crognali is off of Hashimoto, but still might be on here for Orange County. Well done by Berman to leave it there for Quinn. He goes down, grabbing at his left leg. Play on, says the referee. Here's Segbers. Will cut it on to his left. Opportunity for the New England Loney. Plays into the channel for Berman, who tries to flick back for Hashimoto, but cut out well there by Connor Donovan.
That flow and build up from Orange County was beautiful. The way that they moved off the ball to give options to the player that was on the ball was really good. They were all on the same page. Different runs though, so that there were more than one options, but Bierman was able to slip through, couldn't get the ball off.
Let's have a look here at the work from Segbers.
Segbers just floats through, and I love how he brings his run across because it opens up the space for Bierman to come back across the 6. Good defensive job, though, from RGV to stay with the play and to stay engaged so he couldn't get a cross off.
There's Segbers again. A bit of that mercurial skill that drew him to New England Revolution. 9th overall pick in the Super Draft out of the University of Wisconsin. 16 goals, 22 assists in the Big Ten. As going down there is Max Steves. The way to that challenge. No one in the RGV squad older than age 25. Nico Perea representing the old head in the Rio Grande Valley side. They are operated from a technical point of view by Houston Dynamo, so they're trying to get a look in at some promising young players. They have a few of them. This will be a free kick for Rio Grande Valley for the New Zealand native Kyle Adams, who will loft it in the direction of Steves. Plenty to aim at, as he is a 6'4" giant leading the line for Rio Grande Valley this evening. As going down there was Duke. Nico Perea leaving a little bit of a forearm there for him, but play on. Manny Padilla. Another MLS Super Draft pick, 89th overall out of the University of San Francisco to Houston, signing the USL contract. Now Wharton. Good ball on the channel there for Steves, but cut out there by Quinn. Challenge comes flying in there from Duke. Advantage given, and the referee will pull it back. See Todd Wharton going down. And after some consideration, Mark Allerton awarding him the free kick.
One thing I want to see a little bit better from RGV is Steves. He's a big body, he's a big presence. I want to see him hold it a little bit more. He checks to the ball, Wharton's able to find him, but he doesn't body off his defender and they lose possession. They were able to build up again, but if he can be that high, big target forward, he'll create options. Right here, he turns right into his defender. If he can post up and use his body, this whole tackle's avoided and his team keeps the ball.
So it will be a free kick for Rio Grande Valley. Emma Rodriguez over to take it. They missed a portion of last season, including their run through the Western Conference playoffs for Houston Dynamo with a knee injury. Returning to fitness and getting a run in here with the RGV side. He will send in the free kick. It's fairly dangerous, but Alex Crognale rising very well to take that as it's hit first time on the way through. And Andre Rawls saw the danger in that one. Thankfully for Orange County, it whisked wide.
That was a strike from distance. Perea just runs through the ball. He finds space and is confident enough just to hit that. You don't see that often, but we've seen RGV hit a couple really nice shots from far out.
Incredibly well struck there by Perea. You see all the time those kinds of hits just end up in the crowd in behind the goal, poorly hit as the first time cross is sent in towards Enna Voltson, but too close to the goalkeeper. But plenty of danger in that from Nico Perea. Half hour gone, and that without doubt represents the best chance for Rio Grande Valley this evening. As Quinn will try and send it towards Enna Voltson. He's there. He will occasionally lead the line, but that front three swaps positions all the time. They seem like they have a very clear understanding of what not just their role, but every role in the team is.
You just see the rotations through the field, players checking into the ball and rotating out, and that's one thing that makes Orange County so good in that a couple build-ups ago when they just had the players around the ball and the numbers and the movements, because they all have an understanding, like you said, of the different positions and where to go to help one another out. So it looks pretty when you watch it, and it's great on the big field, but especially in the small areas right around the box, it's so dangerous to mark that because players are constantly shifting and finding different spaces.
Here's Zach Wright, who's barely had a touch of the ball. The movement has been down the left-hand side as he will loft it towards Memo Rodriguez, but easy work to cut out there from Oscar Sorto. Now Segbers tries to leave it for Enna Voltson, but Ontiveros smart to it. Mentioned Sorto, two members of that backline return from last year's team. Other than that, it's an entirely new squad from a year ago. A few MLS loanees like Alex Crognale, who's just on the ball, Andre Rawls in goal, Mark Segbers coming from New England, Columbus, and NYCFC. Which is funny when you consider that Orange County has an affiliate deal with LAFC of MLS. They actually just picked up their first loanees on the bench tonight. Nicolas Zornomas from Argentina. Here's Walker Hume, who was on loan last season from FC Dallas. Signed a permanent deal with Orange County. Crognale into the channel for Enna Voltson. There's the Dane for Segbers. Nice left there from Duke in the direction of Hashimoto, but cut out well by Rio Grande Valley in the last moment.
RGV cannot give Orange County any space in the build-up. And Voltson, just the way he pops off that back line, his touches are so clean, and he's able to play, and then you just see the movement in the players.
As you do see here, a man down. It's Max Steves leading the line this evening as he goes down. As you have a look here at the passing sequence there, sliding in there from Duke, but Ontiveros able to just cut it out at the last moment.
And the best part was before all of that, was when you had Enna Voltson pop off the back line, like I said, and just the way he created, and then it made its way out to Segbers, and then Christian Duke, who just gives his all into everything, putting his body just to get the touch on that ball. That's why Orange County in the midfield, when they get going, when they find that rhythm, they're really dangerous, and you see them putting up the goals that they're putting up and the scores that they're putting up against some of these teams.
So the ball will come back to Orange County after play was stopped for an injury. Steves will come off for treatment. And Rodriguez will play it back to the goalkeeper, Rawls. I mentioned Anna Voltson kind of playing that false 9 role tonight. Braden Cloutier telling me beyond the fact that he's an excellent player, he demonstrates the growth of the league coming from the Eredivisie in Europe. Player with plenty of European experience in Denmark, in Holland. Won the Danish league in 2007-8, played in UEFA Champions League. Now coming to USL, it does demonstrate the growth and the attractiveness of playing for a team like Orange County or playing in this league. Here's Sorto. Cernali. Back for the goalkeeper Walls, who is tied for the league lead in saves as well, along with being tied for the league lead in clean sheets. So, well, Orange County does have a solid defensive record. It's not because there aren't shots on Andre Rawls' goal. You see the challenge coming in there on Duke. It will be a free kick. And a talking to coming here for Pablo Aguilar.
Chris, that's an interesting stat because normally you see teams struggling defensively with their goalkeepers with the most saves because they're under so much pressure. So that's a really interesting stat, the fact that he has 4 shutouts, 4 clean sheets, but also has a high number of saves. You don't often just see those two go together.
As you get a look here at the challenge coming in from Aguilar, coming from behind, and left it late as well there for Christian Duke.
And that's one of those plays, though, if Aguilar is just a step ahead, he's blocking that pass. So that comes down to decision-making or just thinking a little bit quicker, just getting there a step faster. Because if he's there, then that foul doesn't happen. And I don't think he meant to do that on purpose. He was just a step behind.
You see there the pressure forcing Andre Rawls to play out and give away a throw-in. So both teams well capable of pressing in this match. So here's Steves on the ball, works around the defender, will whip the cross in towards Rodriguez, who gets in ahead of the defender and scores. For the first time in a long time, Orange County SC have conceded. They went 4 consecutive matches without giving up a goal. The Rio Grande Valley, who have yet to win this season, lead by a 1-0 at home.
Steve showing some footwork, just blows by Walker Hume, who dives into that tackle. Memo Rodriguez blows right by Sorto. He is ball watching, not staying with his man. Rodriguez just steps in front, has enough time to get one touch and then follow it up with another. You see Orange County calling for a handball, thinking Rodriguez brought it with his hand to bring it down.
It might have a case. It did seem like that left arm went up. But either way, it is Memo Rodriguez opening the scoring.
And that's tough because it would be the AR is really the only one who could see that. He's the only one who has a clear shot looking across the field the way that the ball was played. But Walker Hume dives into that tackle against Steves. You don't expect someone of Steve's size to be that technical, but he just blows by Hume and is able to get that cross off.
And now, quick response out here by Orange County as Sorto crosses. Dealt with well there by Connor Donovan. Powder. Pair of Houston Dynamo players connecting for that goal as the ball is played into the channel for Anna Voltson to swing in over the head of Segbers, and now Adams will try and deal with it. Looking to play out. Well poked there by Quinn. And again, Adams there to cut it out. Now Rodriguez is sent on his way. 1v1 here against Walker Hume. And left a bit too much of it there for him, and coming across there to sweep clear was Cernali.
If I'm Memo Rodriguez and I get that touch and I'm going towards goal with only Walker Hume to beat, go after him, blow by him. Hume is a good defender, but if you can get one touch in, get him diving one way, you can blow past him, and then Rodriguez is in on a breakaway.
Just given the size disparity, you can imagine Rodriguez can beat him for pace.
Well, and especially seeing how Hume just defended against Steves.
As here, Zach Wright chasing to get to it. It might still be on for him as Cernali was unable to deal with it. See there the hard running of Zach Wright, nearly creating an opportunity for 2 for RGV. Christian Duke now with plenty of space. Leave it for Noah Powder, who joins the attack from his left back position. Duke again. And now Quinn will loft it wide here for Segbers. Can he try and find the right ball in. Instead, leave it for Aiden Quinn. Flicked down there by Hashimoto, but a heavy challenge flying into him from Omar Ontiveros, who will pick up a 3rd yellow card of the season. Nipping there at the heels of Hashimoto, and it'll be a free kick to be swung in for Orange County.
One thing I love about the Orange County attack is that when they combine, they're not afraid to play the ball back to then go positive again. So Segbers gets the ball, drops it to Hashimoto, and then plays it back forward. Granted, he gets taken down, so it creates a good chance for them here. But they're just aware of the bigger game, that they'll go negative in order to then play positive.
So it will be a free kick here for Orange County, looking for a response here before the halftime interval. Hashimoto and Quinn over it. See, they're a 3-man wall for Nico Corti. Not sure that's necessary, given that the whipped-in ball is far the more likely, as Quinn will indeed whip it in to the edge of the 6-yard area, but Corti leaping to claim. Couple of white shirts near it, but still a bit too close to the Rio Grande Valley goalkeeper. Impressed at the inaugural Dynamo/RGV goalkeeper combine. Earned his way into the team. His ball is played long for Steeves to take. He might have an opportunity. Max Steeves! Well saved by Andre Rawls. Pour there from Hume as again the cross is sent in. Dealt with by Walker Hume that time and cleared by Hashimoto. Another dangerous opportunity. Thought for a moment that Steeves might have been offside, but was just let clean in on goal.
I'm a little shocked with how much time. There's been 3 times when RGV has had opportunities on goal, and they've had time to take their opportunities on goal. Steeves had so much time there, was able to pick his head up and look where he wanted to hit it.
And now right into the penalty area, running at Powder, sent in low, but a bit too much power on it and comes all the way through.
That is a beautiful cross just played across, but Corti is playmaking. He's able to hit the ball downfield. And just the ball back, I'm so confused why Orange County has not stepped that. That defensively is so lazy. They have to get a touch there because Steeves is able to let the ball bounce. It's still in his path, brings it down, and then gets a shot on frame. It just hasn't been tight enough defensively, and Orange County is a team that is very organized and they're compact defensively. But tonight, for some reason, RGV is able to find those gaps, and they're not doing anything special. It's slow the way that it's building up.
You saw there Walker Hume, the way that he pulled up, I thought for a moment he thought that the whistle had gone or something, because he just let Steeves in, and it was Powder on the initial long ball that allowed Steeves to get in behind.
That's why I've been a little confused, because it looks like the players have been confused and that they're just stopping for some reason.
Here's Segbers, will run at the defender Adams into the area. We'll try and leave it for Sorto, but left a bit too much of it there for Wharton, and now perhaps a counter-attacking opportunity on here for Memo Rodriguez. We'll play it into the channel for Steeves to run onto it. It's a foot race between him and Cronali. A shoulder-to-shoulder coming together there. Steeves trying to play it off of Cronali, but eventually the big center back will clear. Tavedos getting something on it, but falling to the feet of Aiden Quinn. So this game has suddenly snapped into life after the goal. Segbers and Hashimoto. Christian Duke. Tried out towards Powder, but didn't get enough towards that left-hand side, as Duke will go down under the duress of the challenge there from Aguilar, and now a free kick taken quickly. Orange County looking for that response, but perhaps conceding a few too many chances here in this first half as well, as the ball is lofted in the direction of Berman to chase, but too far out in front for him.
Offensively, Orange County is a different team depending on where Thomas and Yudvilson is. If he's high, they're able to play him direct and then build through him. But if he drops more into the midfield, which he did in those last 2 opportunities, then it allows the outside midfielders, forwards, and Segbers and Bierman to really get forward, but they have to get forward. And Bierman, you just saw on that last one, the ball didn't come off, but a lot of it depends on where an Evilson is. If he's high, the outside play just gets a little bit more crowded because there's more players up in that area.
Sorto will take the throw in. As the service is sent in towards the area, Corti with easy catching practice. We have been told it will be about a minute to be added on. We're seeing the conditions deteriorate a little bit, a little wind, a little rain. You see there in behind the goal, the sign that was flailing in the wind. Fans starting to retreat perhaps a bit further into the stands, more towards those canopied areas. It is Bark at the Park night. Protect your dogs as well. As Cronali will play with Duke with a minute to play here in this first half. Enevolt. The goal coming courtesy of Memo Rodriguez. Service played in. Rodriguez getting in ahead. Oscar Sorto on that back post. Berman and Quinn. Orange County have fashioned a few opportunities, but get to really find a final ball, a bit too much weight on those final passes. Now, decent opportunity here for Sorto to play on. And again, find the right ball, pointing for a run. To create a little bit of spaces. Quinn will work around the defender now. Try to flick towards Christian Duke, but cut out there by Rio Grande Valley. So we did a change there from the fourth official. Will be a minimum of 2 to be added on, so play on. Rodriguez, you see Jerson Echeverry at the bottom of your screen waving the men in orange on. Here's Rodriguez on the edge of the area, tries the shot, but it comes off a Sorto. And now might Mark Segbers be able to run on and create an opportunity, but cut out well there by Kyle Adams.
I've been impressed defensively with Kyle Adams. He's a good defender, but playing wide, usually he's more central, especially against someone as dynamic as Segbers. He's done a good job of standing him up and not giving him as much space to create in.
Walker Hume. Christian Duke, formerly of Swope Park Rangers, captained the side to a couple of USL Cup final appearances. And now with Orange County, as that will be the final whistle for the end of the first half. Mark Allerton blowing dead a first half that sees Rio Grande Valley go out in front through the work of Memo Rodriguez, a pair of Houston Dynamo players coming down for the evening and creating the impact that has the host a goal to the good. Max Steves finding Memo Rodriguez, who gets in ahead of Oscar Sorto and scoring the game's only goal. Your score at the half, it's Rio Grande Valley 0, Orange County SC Welcome back to HEB Park. Forgive me, before the end of the first half, I incorrectly gave the scoreline. It is 1-0 in favor of Rio Grande Valley FC Toros. The goal coming courtesy of Memo Rodriguez off the service in from Max Steves. That is how the hosts this evening, despite being winless on the campaign, are leading against one of the hottest teams in the USL. They won 4 on the bounce, but tonight it has not very much looked the case. Rio Grande Valley have been much the better team through the opening 45 minutes. Coming up, the next match for Rio Grande Valley, they'll be taking on Reno 1868. Do check out that fixture upcoming as you get a look here at some of the work from Rio Grande Valley over the course of the campaign. That is Wednesday, May 2nd. Playing a lot of Wednesdays coming here. And that is coming up against Reno Wednesday, May the 2nd. Check it out. Rio Grande Valley FC Toros taking on Reno 1868. We did get a win to get off the bottom of the Western Conference recently to see some of the work there from Reno and trying to score some goals. As coming up now, let's go ahead and bring you some of our latest USL content. Jack Blake, the midfielder for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, has the Blake down here. Take a look at some of the best plays from around USL this week.
Welcome to the Breakdown once again. Thank you to everyone on social media that's given me positive comments, and I really appreciate the support. Here's episode 5, week 6 of the Breakdown.
Canadian soldier here in 2018.
Played into the penalty area, some good give and go here. There's a shot, and they've opened the scoring.
This team goal by North Carolina is fantastic. If you notice that there's always players on the move, they're always giving the attacking player who's got the ball an option to move. For Rios there, he has 2 or 3 options at the time when he received the ball, and he just found himself in extremely good space. But again, it's just the constant movement of the team, and it makes it very difficult for the defenders to track runners. Once again, it's a fantastic first-time finish, especially on turf, into the top corner.
Oh, bad back pass. Arboleda picks it up, takes the shot, and puts it in the back of the net.
Arboleta's goal starts with his positioning. If you notice, he gives himself an opportunity to close down the centre-back, and he reads the pass extremely well and uses his pace to get there. And then obviously, once he's used his pace, he has to slow himself down. And you see from the finish that there's nothing the keeper could do about that. The celebration is not so much in for Player of the Week, but the finish definitely is.
For Escalante. Goes well to pick this up. Goes through the legs of Navarro. Sends the service. Had it.
Escalante's skill here has 2 or 3 different stages. The first stage is when he receives the ball, and it's not the greatest ball to him, but he makes the most out of it. And when he turns, the defender, he's expecting the defender to tackle him. When the defender doesn't make a move, then that's his opportunity to create the skill. And the composure as well. Once he's made the skill, not to get carried away, but to have the composure to cross it. And it's a fantastic cross, and I think he's expecting more from his striker there.
Iwasa, Bijev. Bijev cuts, plays it across, oh, it's in!
When Hall receives the ball here, it's not the easiest ball to deal with. He uses it to his advantage, and it draws 2 defenders out. And once he's drew the 2 defenders out, it then creates more space for Bijev. And when he receives the ball, I think the defender's expecting him to go on his right foot, but he does a fantastic skill. And at a tight angle there, it's a fantastic finish. The composure to relax himself, but to slot it through the keeper is fantastic. And it makes it very difficult for the keeper to get down low when he shoots it at his legs. I hope you've all enjoyed episode 5, week 6 of the Breakdown. I look forward to seeing you next week.
From Jack Blake, the midfielder for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, bringing us the Breakdown. Terrific stuff from him as you have a look at some of the halftime entertainment here. The young cheerleaders here at Rio Grande Valley, as we can now bring you the latest news and notes from around the league, beginning first with our USL Team of the Week and our Player of the Week, who this week is Danny Masovsky of Reno 1868. I mentioned him as their next opponent, coming back to score twice in the final 15 minutes for Reno to give them a 2-1 victory over Portland Timbers 2. And you see him there on that right-hand side of that front 3. Carlton Belmar on that left-hand side for Soul Park Rangers been off to a terrific start this season. You saw the goal in the Breakdown from Villian Bijev of Sacramento Republic. And then the ex-Chelsea man, Joe Cole, getting in there for Tampa Bay, has been with the team now for a couple of years now. Had that highlight with the overhead kick, and now in the USL Team of the Week. Diego Restrepo in goal, one of the goalkeepers of the season a year ago. Sean Reynolds for St. Louis FC, part of that backline. As we can now run through some news and notes from around the league. Pittsburgh Riverhounds off to a terrific start this season. 2 unbeaten teams took losses since Saturday. Pittsburgh, the last team to allow a goal. You see there Georgi Christoph for Tampa Bay Rowdies, his 57th career goal in his 6th year for Tampa Bay. 57 tallies. That includes, by the way, the history back to their old NASL days. So 57 goals in the career of Georgi Christoph for Tampa Bay. And then you have a look, Morgan, always terrific drama in these games here around the league. 8 games for Week 6, finished with a tying or game-winning goal after the 72nd minute. Late drama as ever.
I just think that's something that you see teams starting to gel and get better as the season goes on, as the games go on, and I love that you have good finishes, because as fans, that's always fun to watch. For us calling those games, it's always fun to call that, and it's good to see that these teams are getting better as the games go on.
Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the fixtures from the USL Western Conference. Our ESPN 3 game of the week comes from Las Vegas this week. 11 p.m. start in the East, 8 in the West for Las Vegas Lights playing host to San Antonio. We'll also have Swope Park Rangers playing host at Sporting Park, at Children's Mercy Park, I should say, against St. Louis FC. Announced today that Swope Park will be playing the rest of their games at the Sporting KC home stadium. Orange County SC, this side, back in action Saturday night, taking on Colorado Springs. And then Real Monarchs will take on Las Vegas Lights Friday, Monday for Las Vegas coming up this week. As you look around the news and notes from around USL this week, once again, your score here in the Rio Grande Valley, it is RGV 1, Orange County SC 0. Coming up, we'll bring you our first half highlights. We'll show you the goal as well. That's still to come. You're watching Rio Grande Valley against Orange County. Rio Grande Valley lead by a goal to 0 at HEB Park over Orange County SC. Chris Whittingham, Morgan Conklin here for commentary of this one. And let's go to get to our first half highlights of this one, show you how the goal was scored and the chances as well for either side. Rio Grande Valley coming into this one without a win, but got off to a flying start. We'll start first with a chance from Thomas and Evoltson, not 90 seconds into this one with a shot flashing past Nico Forte.
And it just comes from Evoltson popping into the midfield, finding space. RGV was not tight enough defensively, and he's able to get a good rip on frame.
As the set piece will come here, ensuing as Ontiveros with easy work there for Andre Rawls.
But it's a nice ball played in from Todd Wharton. You see Ontiveros trying to head it back across goal. He just didn't hit it back across the 6.
Free kick opportunity as Hashimoto would swing in, but Alex Cronali's header just going wide.
And this was the opportunity that came from an iffy foul, but Cronali's almost able to take advantage of it. Does a nice job of getting contact in a big crowd.
Another opportunity here as Nico Perea would absolutely whack one first time, taking it out of the air and nearly sending it past Rawls.
And he struck that well. We were surprised when it came to him, but he struck it very well.
As you have a look here at the goal, the cross was sent in by Steves, and Memo Rodriguez coming in front of Oscar Sorto. Appeals for handball not given.
Steves is just able to get by Hume. Good technical work there. Really nice just to touch by. Steves blows by him. And then
Was that handball for you?
It's hard to tell. You can see, you see players at times try to sneak that in, but I can't tell if it was touched down and he finished. But he did a good job no matter what. He was able to beat Sorto in there, and he was able to get to the ball first, and defensively that can't happen.
As you have a look here at Rio Grande Valley and Orange County in the stats, possession well favoring Orange County, but Rio Grande Valley have done much more with the ball when they've had it.
And I've been very impressed with the fact that RGV has taken their chances. 8 shots, 5 on frame. That's been the issue for RGV a lot, is that they've created, but they haven't taken their chances. But they've done a good job. They've also been in this position before. They have to close out this game. It's a whole nother 45. They need the same intensity and the same pressure defensively and then build offensively the same way, because they made their mark on this game, but it has to carry into the second half.
As that is your look at the first half stats. Rio Grande Valley leading by a 0 again from Memo Rodriguez. A pair of Houston Dynamo players combining there, coming down for the evening to play with Rio Grande Valley. Max Steves has already appeared twice in MLS this season for Houston. Memo Rodriguez appeared 9 times for the MLS side a year ago. Has played, though, with RGV, has scored for RGV 6 times prior to arriving this evening, was played mainly under Wilmer Cabrera in 2016. Now under Jerson Echeverry, making the difference. That could see them on their way to their first victory in 2018. Orange County coming in on the back of 4 consecutive victories. 3 away from home, as we will have a change here. It does seem like Joe Amico will come on for Oscar Sorto. That's what we're being told. That's our match day referees, led by Mark Allaton, coming back onto the pitch shortly. As you take a look here at the upcoming schedule, Orange County Wednesday, Saturday action here as they'll take on Colorado Springs Switchbacks at the Champions Soccer Stadium in Orange County. Then away from home to Rayon Monarchs for 2 more against St. Louis and Fresno. A week off there in between those 2 fixtures, and then away to Sacramento Republic. That certainly would like at least a point from this one, considering the respective places in the table for either of these 2 teams. Considering they're now in the position where they're going to try and battle to be at the top of the Western Conference, they're going to have to start expecting 3 points in some of these matches.
Well, looking on paper, you wouldn't expect RGV to be in the position that they are right now, just based on where these 2 teams are in the standings. But for Orange County, they were able to get 3 points on the road at San Antonio and get 3 goals in that game. So they're a team that is going to fight for this game, especially on the road. And it's an RGV team, I already said it, but that they've found themselves in this position before. So they've been working on closing out games. They've been working on staying focused, and this is a great time to practice that and put it in to rhythm, because they're playing against one of the best teams in the Western Conference, and they find themselves up 1, so they have to hold on to it.
One other game tonight in USL in the Eastern Conference, Richmond Kickers won by 2-1 over Toronto FC 2. Uday Imura scoring first for Richmond and then getting an own goal off of Brandon Uncani. As you see there, confirmation of the change. Joe Amico coming on for Oscar Sorto. Not sure if there is injury involved in that. We did see him come off briefly for some treatment in that first half. So Amico making his 4th substitute appearance of the campaign. And will likely be like for like down that right-hand side. As we're underway here in the second half, with Rio Grande Valley leading the 2nd best team in the Western Conference by points total. by a goal to nil despite being without a win in 2018. Scored 8, conceded 11, so it's not like they've been thoroughly played off the park. They've had a couple of 3-2 results in their last few games against Portland Timbers 2 and Seattle Sounders 2. They're scoring the goals, but as you mentioned, Morgan, this is an opportunity to test their mettle in terms of taking a lead and locking it down.
And it's just going to come down to decision making and playing the smart pass or defensively doing the smart thing and remembering to defend, remembering to drop in together. And 45 minutes is a long half, especially when you're trying to hold on to that lead. But it comes down to decision making, and also on the attacking end, keep taking chances and finish the chances when you have them.
As it will be interesting to see whether or not Rio Grande Valley can continue to push on and try and create those scoring opportunities. Brendan Cloutier, the Orange County manager, says when his side gets a lead, they want to push on for 2 and 3. They're not content to sit back and hold on to any particular advantage. See their confirmation of the change at right back for Orange County. Sorto, it's started in every match this season, and so we'll see if that streak continues now after he comes off here with an injury. And Evolson for the substitute Amico. Has some space, takes advantage of it. Towards the area, sliding in there was Kyle Adams to intervene. He's played at both left back and left center back this season. Tonight, further out wide as a yellow will come here. I think that's more for an accumulation of challenges rather than that individual one. Pablo Aguilar has received a talking to more than a few times from our matchday referee this evening.
Pablo Aguilar finds himself in the same place. It's pretty much the same play. He's just a step behind. And he's going in for a tackle, but like you said, it's accumulation. That's why he's getting that card. He just has to be careful because he has the right idea and he's going to the right place, but the timing of the tackle is not on.
See there, Jerson Echeverry, the Rio Grande Valley manager, standing tall despite a bit of wind and a bit of rain at HEB Park this evening. This will be Quinn who will take the free kick, lofted in. Available in the area is Walker Hume, but Rio Grande Valley doing just enough to cut it out. Looked dangerous there from the Orange County center back.
It didn't look like RGV was going to get a touch on that ball. The way that it was dropping, a nice ball played in by Quinn, but defensively a really good job from Ontiveros just to time his jump and get a touch on that because there were runners in behind him.
Now, Rio Grande Valley will look to come the other way. Zach Wright leaving it for Wharton. And now the right back Padilla, but went off it well there by Berman. Not a ton going down that right-hand side in the first half for Rio Grande Valley, so Padilla and Zach Wright have had fairly quiet evenings. So now counter-attacking opportunity is on. Joe Miko flying down that right-hand side. He will whip the cross in. It's in towards Berman, but it seemed like everyone was making a near-post run as the ball was lofted a bit too far in front of everyone.
Less than 4 minutes in, you already see Orange County putting the pressure on this RGV backline. They're playing a little bit more direct, especially early on. They're trying to find an Evolson. They're trying to find their wide players getting higher just to really put pressure on that RGV backline.
Rio Grande Valley doing very well in terms of attendance in their new stadium, averaging over 7,000 fans per game a season ago, 5th amongst teams returning to USL. Popular in an area that certainly loves their football. Padilla will throw into right. Cut out there by Berman, and might he have a counter-attacking opportunity on? Does win it off Padilla, but Berman unable to leave it for a white shirt. Aguilar. Nicolas Perea. Unchanged side for Rio Grande Valley out of the interval. Oh, nice ball there from Memo Rodriguez. Popping up there was Aguilar in a pocket of space. Still might be an opportunity on. You see perhaps pitch starting to become a little bit slick with the rain. As Rodriguez was trying to play it into the channel. Cut out though by Christian Duke. Still no for Rio Grande Valley. Who are working this season on trying to increased that goal scoring tally just a shade over a goal per game a year ago. 37 goals in 34 matches. That number has gone up early stages, but it's yet to produce a victory. Of course, as is usually the case with these types of teams, they are very young. Teams associated with MLS clubs trying to find those new players and occasionally struggle to lock down the back. But you do see teams like Real Monarchs and Soul Park Rangers do get the job done. Portland Timbers too have been pretty decent this season. Rio Grande Valley will certainly like to be in that company. They certainly were in 2016, as will be a corner here for RGV. 2016, their inaugural season, finished second in the Western Conference. They dropped to 11th last season and now near the bottom of the table. Going to change their fortunes a little bit. You see there chunks of the pitch have been taken up over there on that near side, as Todd Wharton will head over to swing in the corner. And he's lofted in. Arriving there was Steves. Cronali doing just enough to put him off, but the whistle had gone before that. Want to get exclusive video content and photography from across USL? Make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account. That's at USL Soccer. Follow the league on Instagram for the latest. Orange County looking for the response out of the break from Braden Cloutier, as attempting to play the ball there in the channel there was Duke. Steal might be on for the Orange County captain. What would Braden Cloutier have said to his men at halftime to try and change things? This hasn't been the sharpest half of football from his men.
Well, it just came down to them finding their rhythm. So I think that's what was preached at halftime, is play our game, find our rhythm, because you see right now the movement, the way that they've spread the field, and they're able to find their players and find the midfield and build forward. And then defensively, they're in their shape. So he said something to them about playing their game, because that's how they came out of half.
Nice interplay there on the edge of the area as Hashimoto tried to strike. There is a player down for Rio Grande Valley, but still might be an opportunity, though, for the host, as the whistle will now finally go. So I believe it was Connor Donovan who went down there defensively. As the referee does say, we are good to continue now. Cronali. Clooney from Columbus Crew. 17 appearances a season ago and an assist with Columbus. They missed a chunk of the campaign due to sports hernia surgery. Now Greg Berhalter sending him to get some more games at USL level here with Orange County, as the header comes off of Segbers, and it might be opportunity on. Here is Segbers on the edge of the area, try to flick it towards Duke. Couldn't get enough on it. That looked to be a decent opportunity after a pure stroke of luck after Ontiveros with a defensive header, as no whistle, play on, says Mark Gallatin. Cronali shoulder to shoulder there with the RGV player, but harmless in the end as Nico Corti caught the ensuing service.
That's one of those plays where you want the referee to call it, but he's not going to, because Cronali just used his body. He's a bigger body right there. He was running through the ball and there was no foul.
Poorly given away, as Memo Rodriguez is going to try and catch Rolls off his line, but didn't quite come off for him. Berman giving away, but then winning it back, and then giving it away again. Hume heading it off of Max Steves. Powder and Berman and Quinn trying to find the run of Enna Voltson, but the flag had gone up. Pretty easy there for the assistant to flag there against Thomas Enna Voltson, who was trying to get in behind that Rio Grande Valley defense. Which teams are hitting peak performance in USL? Find out every Monday afternoon when the USLsoccer.com power rankings are released to see where your team ranks after its most recent results. I saw Orange County second in the USL power rankings, just behind Louisville City after their tremendous start.
If RGV can keep this win today, it's a huge confidence booster for this team who's struggling to get results. So to be able to sneak one in early and then maintain that lead throughout the rest of the half is really what this team needs, especially knowing that they have some tough games coming up. They have that weird 11:30 or 10:30 local, 10:30 Central Time game against Reno that was rescheduled. They just have a little bit of a strange schedule with that in there, and then if they can get this win tonight, though, it builds that confidence for them.
This opportunity on here for Rio Grande Valley. The shot is taken, but Memo Rodriguez couldn't control it.
Rodriguez is able to find space. He does a nice job of just taking 2 touches. Orange County, a defender you see these players slipping. He slips a little bit on the turf, and Rodriguez takes advantage of that, is able to take another touch and put a look on frame, but that's when he just needs to get on top of the ball. He has all that space. He's right in the middle of the pitch. Keep it low.
Mentioned that extra touch just to carve out that opportunity to try and bend one. Couldn't quite find the right contact on it. And Rodriguez looking for his second, very much the standout performer, kind of running the show for Rio Grande Valley this evening. Powder. Just not enough production there off that left-hand side. Powder and Berman have not done a ton to build out for Orange County. Powder again. Trying to play it through Wharton. Unable to do so. Nearly gave the ball away. Before that, Mark Allerton had whistled for a foul there against Wharton. It will be a free kick that Noah Powder wins.
I like seeing Powder combine and not just go up the left side of the field. You see him trying to combine and get the ball and then play make centrally. Oftentimes when an outside back gets involved in the attack, it's just up and down the flank, but I like that you see him trying to do something else and work his way centrally.
Koji Hashimoto. And Voltson flicking it out for Segbers, but and Kyle Adams doing solid work. The New Zealand Youth International. Played collegiately at San Diego State. Decent idea there from Aiden Quinn, but cut out. Now Memo Rodriguez is going to send Zach Steves to chase. He's going to get to this, and ahead of Walker Hume. The sliding challenge comes in from Walker Hume, and he gets enough of the ball. Solid recovery there from the Orange County center back. But you see, Memo Rodriguez is intent on testing the pace of these center backs for Orange County.
And I like that ball that Rodriguez plays in. If Steve stayed on his feet, he decided before Hume went down on the ground, he decided if Hume goes, I'm going down. If he would have stayed on his feet, he would have run through the tackle and the ball would have stayed at his feet and he would have been in the 18 looking right on frame. But what I love about Memo Rodriguez is that he sees that and he's not afraid to take the risk. Having him working with Steves, they bring 2 different elements to the game, and it's a total different attack with those 2.
It's Christian Duke winning the challenge and playing out of play. As you have a look here at the ball from Rodriguez, playing in Steves and leaping over the challenge. He was actually caught there, but it was after the leap from Steves. Difficult one for Mark Allerton to sort out, but he elects to give no foul, no penalty, and that probably would have been a red card offense as well had it been given there against Walker Hume.
But I like the ball from Rodriguez going back to all that. It's the decision making, because he knows that Cronali is out higher stepping towards Rodriguez, so he knows that if he plays that ball in behind, it's Steves versus Walker Hume. It's really one-on-one, and then you have other players tracking in behind. So I like the fact that he took that risk and wanted to see if it would pay off.
And that is the final bit of work for Max Steves this evening. Coming on is Aldo Quintanilla. And there is the change for Orange County, a second. Mats Berman coming off, and Nansel Selbol, the Nigerian, coming on. His second substitute appearance of the campaign, did score in a substitute appearance earlier on this season. As I mentioned earlier, one of 6 goals off the bench. There's actually a brace from Segbers against LA Galaxy 2, but they had 2 men sent off in that fixture, so obviously it's never easy to score as an opportunity is on straight away. Rather, that was Mark Segbers who had that brace. Selbol scoring also against LA Galaxy 2, but not twice, but just once, and a 3-0 victory. What they call the 405 Derby. 2 teams in Southern California. Here's Quinn. Leaving it for Rawls. Tries to find Segbers, just not enough quality in building out tonight for Braden Cloutier's men. Now an opportunity might present itself for Rio Grande Valley as Aguilar trying to flick into the channel for Quintanilla, but cut out there well. Here's Selbol. Now Hashimoto, the Japanese central midfielder. Now Segbers on that right-hand side with 2 defenders on him, cuts towards the byline, tries to send the low cross in, but cut out well.
Kyle Adams is so strong defensively right now, especially on Segbers. He is not giving him anything. He's so tight, able to close that space. But RGV has to be able to clear this one out because look at all the numbers that Orange County has pushed forward. They have the height, they have the bodies. Aiden Quinn has the ability to whip a ball in.
He will attempt to do so there. Not quite demonstrating that ability on that service. As Hume will play it out the other side. Here's the big center back. Able to at least get a decent cross in. Nico Corti dropping it, but no danger near him, and it will be an easy claim for the Belgian goalkeeper for RGV. I wonder if perhaps Orange County's late game success comes from their off-season training. They were put through paces by Green Beret, by the name of Doug Wong. They did push-ups on the beach. They carried backpacks full of bricks, went through a full day's military training. They thought it was just kind of an appearance that they were showing up for. And the next thing you know, they're an hour's worth of Green Beret training.
That'll bond you real quick. That stuff is hard.
That'll get you well conditioned real quick as well.
Yeah. As if preseason isn't hard enough.
Right.
We'll add that to it.
Is Zach Wright's header coming out of play? The one in the center of the park there by Aguilar, the challenge flying in from Powder. So Orange County have yet to really find that response since going a goal down. Rio Grande Valley talked to Jerson Echeverry. He was saying that staying organized is among his bigger points of emphasis at the moment, keeping their shape, not getting exposed, and certainly they haven't done that too often this evening.
When he was saying it's staying organized and also staying with runners and staying with your marks, he was saying sometimes in the midfield they would lose runners centrally and a runner would float by and then create on the attacking end, or defensively they would lose runners and a mark would be free in the box. So it's organization, but also that focus and staying with those runners or staying with their players.
As we are hearing that there will be another Rio Grande Valley change as Memo Rodriguez is likely to come off after putting in his solid 65-minute shift, with Jesus Enriquez the likely entrant, as there will be a corner after the long ball took a deflection on the way through. Mark Segbers nearly coming onto it, but instead will be a set-piece opportunity for Orange County. We'll await the change for a moment as Aiden Quinn heads over to swing in the corner. That a bit more likely. Getting something on it there was Walker Hume, but straight towards the goalkeeper Corti. As an opportunity is on, perhaps one last meaningful bit of action here as Rodriguez will play, and Quintanilla nearly an own goal, but it came off the post. Noah Powder sliding in and nearly putting it into his own net, but instead is aided by the frame of the goal to keep this 1-0. That was nearly and there is the confirmation of the change. That was Memo Rodriguez's final moment in this one, just as his pass nearly made it 2-0.
Rodriguez has to finish that. Credit to Orange County defense dropping back on that one, but Zach Wright does a good job. It all is a touch too slow, though. If the pass to Wright's a little faster, if Wright's able to knock it across faster to Rodriguez, he doesn't have time to think about a player coming back on him. It just has to happen. Rodriguez has just a touch too much time to think about it. He knows he's right in front of goal. He knows he's about to score, and then he doesn't place it where he wants to.
As it will be a change as well for Orange County, as Giovanni Ramos-Godoy will come on. You saw there a mistake there on the substitution board. As it will be Ramos-Godoy coming on for Koji Hashimoto. The other change, Jesus Enriquez, the Mexican, coming on for Rio Grande Valley. So you have a look here at the full move. There's the chance from Hume. And again, it's Corti who gets it started.
And credit to Nico Corti for seeing what's in front of him. But right here, Wright gets a touch. It's a little bit too far ahead of him. He uses his long legs to get a touch, but if he can whip it across just a touch faster, it gets to Rodriguez faster, who's able to finish it.
Nearly opportunity on straight away as Ramos-Godoy coming on to try and threaten.
But going back to that play, Memo Rodriguez has to finish that ball. It doesn't matter how fast or how slow it comes across. It doesn't matter if he has a defender coming on his back. He has to finish that.
See, throw-in is whipped in. Should Zach Wright have tried to play the cross in rather than have a hit? I mean, there was a lot of different opportunities there to either have a hit or instead trying to play the low crosses. The long ball is lofted towards Quintanilla, appeals for handball as he tried to flick it into the path there of Enriquez. Didn't quite come off for him, still on though for Rio Grande Valley. And now Wharton. So Zach Wright into the area, trying to dink it in for the run of Padilla, and Hume allowing it to run out for the goal kick.
Chris, going back to your question for when the ball comes across to Wright, should he have shot that? No, in no way. He has a tough angle when he's going forward. The right thing to do is play it right there to Rodriguez. Yes, he has a player dropping back on him. Yes, he has to make a decision quick, but Wright did the correct thing in playing it across, because all Memo has to do is just touch it in. Unfortunately, it just hit the post.
Again, appeals for hands, this time given. Saw Kyle Adams frustrated there with the assistant referee. It was actually the official, Mark Allerton. As it will be a free kick for Rio Grande Valley. We will have an ESPN3 game of the week. Most of the games in this campaign will be on ESPN Plus, but these free matches, Las Vegas Lights against San Antonio FC. The Rio Grande Valley featured away from home against Fresno. Orange County, I imagine they'll make their way onto the schedule as the year goes on. They continue on the form that they are on. FC Cincinnati and Bethlehem Steel closing out that run of fixtures. So here's Selbold. And Quinn, who is losing his footing there and giving possession away. Now opportunity on here for Rio Grande Valley. Looking for options there is Quintanilla. Looks to play it with Perea. And now we'll go all the way back to Connor Donovan. Keen to just keep possession there. Padilla will send long. Wright can chase. He did stay onside. Now an opportunity here for Rio Grande Valley. We'll leave it here for Quintanilla. Takes a touch. Will send the low cross fizzing in, but cut out there by Hume.
The elements are starting to get to this Orange County team. You can see them really tired. They're starting to bend over a little bit. It's tough to play in Edinburgh. It's tough to play at RGV.
As Padilla will swing the cross in towards Enriquez, but couldn't quite work his way around the defenders. not even into the stage of the campaign yet where it's 100 degrees at kickoff either. Rio Grande Valley, southern Texas. Just a few miles away from the Mexican border as Quintanilla has an opportunity. Could have played in the run of Aguilar, and you see his frustration there with the Mexican Quintanilla. Now Orange County can counter here through Selbol and Evoltson, just waiting for someone to run into that space on that right-hand side. Aiden Quinn, Joe Amico. I've been told the attendance is a little over 4,145, including the dogs in attendance this evening, as Aiden Quinn tries to win it off of Wharton, but a free kick. Remains 1-0. Memo Rodriguez scoring the goal and nearly getting a second and a third. This evening, he certainly bossed the game while he was in it. See Jerson Echeverry there, hoping to see his side be a throw in here for Orange County. Visit the USL's Instagram story every Monday evening to watch Kelsey Steele's hat trick as she breaks down 3 key talking points from the previous week's action. This is a good ball sprayed out to this left-hand side for Nancel Selbol. Joins after 2 seasons from Swope Park Rangers. In his second substitute appearance of the campaign. So leave it for Alex Cronali. Aiden Quinn. Playing it into the channel. Here's Giovanni Ramos Godoy, who himself has scored off the bench. Now Selbol can run past the defender Padilla towards the byline, and it just runs out for him. You see Nico Corti having a go at somebody, not sure if it was a defender or the official. Either way, though, a goal kick for Rio Grande Valley.
It looked like Selbol was going to get on the end of that. It looked like he had the extra touch and was going to be able to get around it with his left foot. Just a little bit too much, but I like the fact that Orange County, you saw a ball from Quinn that was played into the corner, and they had a runner come centrally and then pop out wide, and it was a long ball, and then they built from the corner. You're seeing different movements from them because they're chasing the game, and they're trying to change things up to get a result and at least get the equalizer.
Quinn and Perea coming together. Sliding intervention, one back there by Christian Duke, but the touch of Selbol lets him down. Not too many chances created by Orange County, such a prolific attacking side. Scoring 12 times in their last 4, but barely even fashion quality opportunities. That's a counter-attacking opportunities on here for Rio Grande Valley. Had the run of right to Quintanilla, likes to play it out live with Enriquez into the penalty area. Now marked by 2, tries to send the cross in, but in behind the goal. Here, Jerson Echeverry barking out tactical instructions from far away and still well heard. By the way, the ground echoes a little bit as Selbol having a reach out at Padilla, but a free kick against Orange County. On top of the new manager for this side in Orange County, with Braden Cloutier taking over for Logan Paz. New technical director as well, with Franz Hook coming in to spearhead that operation. Longtime coach under Louis van Gaal of many major European giants. Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Ajax in the Dutch league, the Holland national team. He's the goalkeeping coach along the way. Certainly has worked with Andre Rawls a fair amount. His overall spearhead in the operation at Orange County. Braden Cloutier telling me on our call with him today that he has certainly been a massive influence and has taught him a ton Just in going over film as Segbers into the penalty area. Will loft it in. Dangerous header coming off of Connor Donovan. Looked like for a second it might be back for an own goal. Either way, it is a corner for Orange County.
Kyle Adams has been strong defensively against Segbers, but Segbers gets the better end of him right here and around Ontiveros. Connor Donovan, though, does a nice job getting on the inside of his defender to get that touch so the ball doesn't come all the way across.
As Quinn will send it in. Crognali on the edge of the 6-yard area, but it came off an orange shirt on the way through. Now Selbo, 1v1. Cut it onto his right and then back onto his left. Brilliant bit of skill there. Lofted into the area. Plenty of tugging. Will not fall to Anna Voltson. Comes all the way through, and Corti fortunate to not have a rebound.
Both teams are starting to get tired. So defensively for RGV, when they're defending against these Orange County attackers, they have to be smarter. You can't dive. And that's one thing that Jerson Echeverry told us on the call this week, is that he needed his players not to dive. Aguilar goes in for the tackle, dives, and it gives his attacker just a clear look on frame.
As an opportunity developed the other way, as Enriquez was threatening Orange County. Nothing came of it in the end, as the referee waves play on after a couple of challenges fly in. Now Perea and Quintanilla and Wharton. See there, both teams creating something. Rio Grande Valley would love that second goal to give themselves a more comfortable advantage, as there's a poor ball there from Padilla to give away. Orange County through Crognali, who did come off the bench, scoring Orange County's opener. Pull back a 1-1 draw, as Quinn spraying it out wide here for Duke. Now Quinn trying to spray out to that right-hand side, but there was no runners there. Haven't quite seen that connection, that trio of Hashimoto, Duke, and Quinn combined yet tonight.
We saw it early, but only for a couple minutes. We've seen glimpses. So there's been spurts where it's been there, but it's not consistent. And that's one thing that's causing Orange County issues, is that they don't have that rhythm. And normally they control the midfield, and that's their strength. They haven't found it tonight.
Segbers trying to head it into his own path, but ended up fouling Omar Ontiveros in the process. That has been a fairly regular part of this Orange County side, that midfield trio of Quinn, Hashimoto, and Duke. Richard Chaplow had won his way into that area for a little while, but picked up an injury along the way. Hashimoto, the Japanese native, working his way Hashimoto, the first signing to come from Japan after Kaisuke Honda, the Japanese legend, took over, or joined as part of the ownership group, an investor in Orange County.
And Braden Cloutier has said that when his three midfielders are on, he says that he thinks he has some of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. And that just shows his belief in them, and he has every right to say that. When they are on, they are hard to stop, but they haven't found that rhythm tonight.
Powder into the channel for Selbo, towards the byline, pulled back into a fairly dangerous area, but cut out well there by Ontiveros, and sent clear by RGV. Quinn charging forward, leaving it for Thomas and a Voltson! And that looked fairly dangerous, but just going high and wide.
Orange County switches things up, and N.A. Voltson's able to pop off. He's finding that space in the midfield, and he's having to create from deeper, but since he hasn't really been in that space, RGV, the defenders, don't go with him, which leaves him free, so it allows him to turn face up and then get a clean look on frame. He's proven that he'll drop into the midfield. He's proven that he's trying to find the ball. So defensively, RGV, the center backs, can't be surprised when he does that. They have to go with him.
Be a free kick here for Orange County. Off in the direction of Selbol, but cut out well there by Padilla. Here's Quinn. And Powder. Now an opportunity for him to either send a crossing or leave it there for Nansel Selbol. 2 trips to USL Cup final. And the USL Goal of the Year Fans' Choice a season ago. And Evolson coming back to try and play the ball, leaving it for Joe Amico there with Segbers. Here's Quinn. Trying to clip it over the top in the direction of Godoy. Might fall for Selbol, but Wharton doing well to arrive and cut it out. Segbers again. And Evolson. Quinn going to play the 1-2 there with Selbol, who'll turn and shoot rather than playing the return ball, but didn't quite come through that mass of bodies as coming back from behind was Himiko, and I think he knew exactly what he was doing in earning that yellow card.
That's a professional foul just to stop the play, to allow Orange County to drop back and defend because they had so many players high. There was no chance that they were going to stop Enriquez here. So Amico just does what he can to stop the play and allow his team to reset.
Easy there for Mark Gallatin, who had just given 1 yellow on the evening against Aguilar. As looks like Enriquez will stay down for a moment. Bit of an injury break there as Enriquez will stay down. The young Mexican, a dual national with the U.S. and Mexico, comes from Tijuana, where he's playing for Cholos' B team. Now on as a substitute for his 4th appearance of the campaign. You see there, kicked in the heel there. See his discomfort. Hear exclusive stories directly from the USL's players and USLsoccer.com's From the Pitch, with written and video content that provides unfiltered access and a first-person look into the professional game and players' everyday lives. Check it out at USLsoccer.com. So we'll be a free kick there after the yellow against Joe Amico, the substitute, in for Oscar Sorto, who might have picked up a knock in that first half. Opportunity for Enriquez, who starts dancing. There's a couple of cheers from the crowd. They enjoyed that, and then again goes down. And again, it's Amico who's the culprit. Lovely bit of skill there.
Really good technical work from Enriquez. He's able to get Amico down on the ground, brings Quinn over, is still able to play out of it. And I like the fact that he chose when to play. He didn't keep going. Yes, he drew the foul, but he also was able to pick his head up and play out. So if that wasn't called, his team was able to keep possession.
So it will be a free kick. You see there, the limping continues. Didn't appear to be much of a problem in the middle of those step overs. Here's Enriquez again. I guess we're already into time wasting period, as will be a throw here for Rio Grande Valley. As Enriquez be sure to allow Kyle Adams to come forward, take plenty of time over these throw-ins. You wonder if that might be reflected in the time to be added on. As again, it's lofted long. Easy work there for Rawls. And now Orange County can try and press on to try and find this equalizer. Haven't done a whole lot in the way of creating chances in the second half. There's Christian Duke. And playing into the channel for Powder. He's going to try and send Nansel Selbol on his way. He can run at the defender. Nice step in there from Padilla. Does well to at least get it clear. Hume. Now Alex Crinali. Little sprayed ball out for Selbo, who's had plenty of work to do 1v1. And again, solid work there from Rio Grande Valley. That time it was Zach Wright winning it there, as now it's a foot race between Quintanilla and Hume doing very well to slide in. Otherwise, Quintanilla was away.
Walker Hume has come up big twice when he's been caught in a foot race, and he knows that he's most likely not going to win that, but he does a good job with his body positioning, and he's able to get a touch in because he has those long limbs. So he's able to read the situation and know his strengths and know his weaknesses so he doesn't get burned.
Get those sweeping challenges in, as is a foul against Enriquez. As we will have a final change. Jorginho James coming on. Just a matter of time. Another central midfield presence that throw in to shield that back four. Segbers and Amico. Now Christian Duke, who's been floating around. You see a lot of players in white shirts floating around varying positions, as Quinn will try and send it out wide towards Selball, but again, right there to intervene. You see both wingers retreated pretty far back in order to help in the defensive effort. Quintanilla trying to play it around the defender, but Powder doing well to intervene, as Jorginho James will come on. Pablo Aguilar, who is on a yellow, will come off. A little bit more of a defensive influence, although Jorginho James did hit an absolute screamer from 25 yards out. Their last home match against Sacramento Republic about a month ago. It's been quite a long time away from home for Rio Grande Valley, 3 straight away, including having a match in there against Reno. Cancel. Here's Zach Wright. Trying to maintain possession there, but giving it away after a loose touch. The ball is sent long in the direction of Ramos Godoy, but away by Ontiveros. Very well, as Alex Crinali has now come forward. Use his size as a target man. And again, clipping at the heels of Enriquez was Amico. He is already on a yellow. Or was that Segbers? It was indeed Mark Segbers. So I thought for a moment it might be the right back who's already on a yellow, but it is the St. Louis, Missouri native Mark Segbers who will pick up the booking.
Right now, Enriquez is just showing his skill. He's so technical, and he knows that he doesn't have any options. He could easily push the ball down to the corner, but he's choosing to waste time and draw that foul.
As Quintanilla had to work around the official in order to carve out an opportunity. He will shoot and he will score! Aldo Quintanilla coming off the bench with his second goal of the campaign. It might have just given Rio Grande Valley FC Totos their first set of 3 points on the campaign. Rio Grande Valley 2, Orange County 0.
RGV has been fighting to get 3 points, and Quintanilla is able to put this one away. He does a nice job of winning the ball, and then he's just aware. He continues to take his space. He knows he can get forward, gets a touch past Hume, and he's able to place the ball into that left corner. They have been working for these points, and he's the one who just sealed it for him.
There is the goal scorer who puts Rio Grande Valley 2-0 up. Came on in the second half for Max Steves, who provided the assist for the opening goal. So that front line of Rio Grande Valley doing some terrific work this evening. As you see there, Nico Corti having a go at the assistant referee for not giving a yellow card against Alex Crinali for booting the ball all the way away. And what he's instead doing now is doing some time wasting instead. Very clever from the RGV goalkeeper, as we have been told we'll have a minimum of 4 minutes to be added on. And there is confirmation there, a minimum of 4 minutes to be added on. So Orange County SC going to have to muster something up. Not done much of anything. Jerson Echeverry would have to be pleased with the performance of his men this evening.
Well, he was just asking them to focus more, to stay more compact, defensively to be stronger, but also to establish a style of play, to establish possession, and that's what they did. RGV had a game plan coming in, and they were able to execute and check off each box that they wanted to.
And so it will be a free kick here after the assistant referee waved his flag. Zach Wright will take plenty of time to come to his feet, as it does look like the winning run here of Orange County SC is going to come to an end this evening. There's Braden Cloutier, who would not be pleased by the performance of his men. Despite winning away from home in Texas a week and a half ago against San Antonio, did say he was not terribly pleased with the performances side put in the opening 45 minutes of that one. Might not be pleased with the entirety of the performance this evening, as Quintanilla is going to try and play it over by the corner flag, just at least whack it off of an orange shirt, of a white shirt I should say, and it will be a throw in here. Again, plenty of time taken by Rio Grande Valley to take this throw in. As finally Orange County is able to win a goal kick, and they'll have to embark on the challenge to try and get 2 goals in 2 minutes. Amico sending it long. Cronali is up there as the big man trying to win in the air. Powerful header there from James. Noah Powder, as it does appear to be Route 1 as the way to go. No one in particular that one was aimed to, and now Corti will hang on to it.
I know he just subbed in and is in for the last final minutes, but I like seeing Jorginho James in for RGV. He just brings such a different presence. He's such a defensive, I've always called him the destroyer. He's in the destroyer role because he just breaks up play. And for Orange County, we talked about how Aiden Quinn sits in front of the back line, but also dictates play. Jorginho James sits in front of the RGV back line to make sure that the back line doesn't have to touch the ball. He is so defensive, and he's such a big body, and he goes up and he wins aerial challenges. You saw just with his header, the power behind it. He just brings such a different look when he's in, and he's the person that you want on the field when you're trying to close a game out.
As Enriquez will win the ball. He'll leave it for Wharton. Now we'll play in James. Might he just go for 3? He will! And force a save out of Andre Rawls. It'll be a corner instead of trying to see out the time. He's going for 3.
Yeah, he also brings that too. He's able to step in and just hit a shot. He sees the space. I love this left-footed strike. Gets forward, just a short touch, and then pops one towards frame. But it works out for RGV's favor because now it's a corner, and that's where they want the ball to be. They just want to waste time as the final whistle. You saw when that second goal went in, all the emotions on these players' faces. They have been looking for these 3 points.
And Rio Grande Valley looks like they're going to get it against in second in the Western Conference. There's certainly a result well against form, and it's not been a terribly fluky performance. You'd have to say Rio Grande Valley well worth 3 points this evening.
They earned it. They, like I said, they had a game plan and they marked it. Their players were ready to play. They were focused. They knew where they had to be tight centrally. They knew that they had to finish their chances, and they had to disrupt Orange County from their game. That's
a good ball there from Cronali. Sends Segber's on his way, but Corti off his line. That might just about be the final touch of this one, as the whistle is in the lips of Mark Allerton. The ball is sent long for Quintanilla to chase. Wonder perhaps a bit of the time-wasting tactics, taking this beyond the minimum of 4. Hume for Segbers. He will rip the cross in towards Enevoltson. I believe got something on that. And it does come out for the corner in the end. RGV players motioning for the final whistle to go. You know, RGV would love to hang on to this clean sheet. Have not had one all season. This is whipped in by Selbold, but Corti there to punch. And that is the final whistle. Rio Grande Valley, second from bottom in the Western Conference, entering this one. Get the victory over the second best team in the West, certainly against the run of form. Goals coming courtesy of Memo Rodriguez and Aldo Quintanilla. Rio Grande Valley defeat Orange County SC by 2-0. What a terrific performance from the hosts here at HEB Park. They win by 2-0. An incredible performance this evening to get their first set of 3 points. We'll wrap this thing up and bring you your full match highlights coming up next. Welcome back to coverage of Rio Grande Valley picking up their first victory of the season in USL. A first professional victory as well, in charge of a senior team for Jerson Echeverry. Came from Seton Hall. You see there him celebrating presumably with his family after picking up a first victory in charge of Rio Grande Valley FC Toros. Fantastic scenes there as we can now bring you our full match highlights. Chris Whittingham, Morgan Conklin on commentary of this one. And the chances would begin first off a free kick here from Rio Grande Valley. Nico Perea with a nice little hit.
And you just set the tone early. He crushed this from distance, didn't miss by much. Forced Rawls to try to make a save. But the goal on this one, Steves is just able to get by Hume, sends a nice ball in across. And Rodriguez just beats Sorto to the ball. He comes from the outside, gets central, and is just waiting, gets the first touchdown, is able to finish with the left foot.
There is the goal. The service there from Steves, and getting ahead of the defender there was Rodriguez. You see multiple players appealing for handball. Really unclear based off the shots that we have a look at whether or not Rodriguez actually used his hand to play that one. Here's another golden chance for RGV. Playing it towards Quintanilla was right.
And that ball that comes across right has a touch. He has to stretch for it, and he tries to find Quintanilla right there. He feels a defender coming on him, so he has the pressure, but he has to finish that.
And there was really the most dangerous opportunity. It was actually would have been an own goal off of Connor Donovan off the service there from Segbers. Donovan heading in behind and lucky to escape without conceding. But here would be the second goal. He worked around the official, and then 4 Orange County defenders to seal the 3 points. Aldo Quintanilla.
Really good awareness. He's able to get the touch and then picks his head up and sees the space in front of him. And then he dribbles, penetrates into it, and a beautiful finish to that far post.
The second of the campaign for the Mexican. So on a windy evening this night in the Rio Grande Valley, they don't dominate possession, but I would say had all the attacking intent and all the chances this evening as well.
They may have lost that possession battle, but when they had it, they took advantage of it. They created their chances, 13 shots, 7 of which on goal. Very strong for them. And then to finish on 2, really good match from RGV. They need to keep this momentum going because they took advantage of Orange County. Orange County never really had a chance to get in this game. They never found their footing. It was all RGV.
Yeah, we saw the best chance really coming off of an own goal opportunity off of Connor Donovan after some decent service. Braden Cloutier will go back to the drawing board after losing his first game in 5. Coming up next for Rio Grande Valley, mentioning to continue the momentum, they will take on Reno 1868 in what is a rescheduled game for Rio Grande Valley. You mentioned the bizarre start time of this one, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 Central. Because of the rescheduling nature of it, perhaps couldn't have the facility later on, but either way, it is RGV taking on Reno 1868 at home. A couple of Wednesday fixtures coming up here for Rio Grande Valley, including against Reno. That'll do it for us. For my broadcast partner, Morgan Conklin, and our terrific USL team, my name is Chris Whittingham. Once again, Rio Grande Valley getting their first set of 3 points this evening. The goals coming courtesy of Memo Rodriguez and Aldo Quintanilla. For the first time this season, Rio Grande Valley are victorious. For the first time since the second game of the season, Orange County SC on the losing end of this one. Once again, your final score, Rio Grande Valley 2, Orange County SC 0. That'll do it for us.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.